We are halfway through the month of February. Today, we'll be discussing sneakers to resell in the remainder of the month. If you're not into reselling, that's okay as well. You could use this guide to know what are going to be the most hype sneakers, the most limited, or even what popular general releases may potentially go on sale because, hey, we're all trying to save some money. Specifically, we'll be discussing the name of the sneaker, the retail, the release date, and whether the sneaker will be profitable or not, or if they may even sit on shelves, resulting in a sale price. Feel free to subscribe and enable post notifications. This way you stay 100% updated on all these profitable releases. Also, be sure to follow my Twitter for urgent updates and info, KeithAdam10, and also personals for you, such as the recent shock drops that we have seen. And for early info, before these shock drops actually occur, Endurance has your back. Follow for Restocks if you're interested. Before we start, just an update on the Dunk Pandas, which were supposed to restock today. These were actually removed from Nike a few days ago, so yes, they are slightly delayed. However, they still should be restocking very soon, potentially as early as next week, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. For when they do restock, the Dunk Low in men and women will both be profitable with a good margin at a retail of $110. The grade school lows will also be profitable with a good margin at $90. However, as always, the highs are still personal only at $125. But now, starting with February 15th for $110, some retailers will be dropping the delayed Dunk Low Reverse Brazil, such as Finish Line, JD, and Foot Locker. Unfortunately, presale is already close to retail, making these just personals. At best, sizes 11.5 and above might be a couple of dollars brick profit with a very poor margin if you have no tax. Also on the 15th, for $160 each, two colorways of the undercover Nike Mach Flow will be dropping. Unfortunately, demand does appear to be quite low on these, so I'd have to say personal only. Most importantly on the 15th though, for $200, the Jordan 1 85 black and white will finally be dropping. 85s have been doing very well in general, and I certainly expect these to as well, especially because they have the classic black swoosh and white mid panel, and of course this colorway is very universal too. If anything, I'd expect these to outperform how the recent ones have done recently, so I expect these to be very profitable with a very good to great margin, larger sizes being the best, full throttle on this drop. Then on the 16th for $120, the Dunk Low Just Do It in women's sizes will be dropping. Surprisingly, demand seems really low on these, but I do see potential for lunch money with a poor margin on sizes 11 and up. Also on the 16th for $200, the LeBron 20 All-Star will be dropping. Unfortunately, presale is already close to retail, so I'll have to go personal only for these. Also on the 16th for $160, the KD 15 All-Star will be dropping. Similarly, presale on these is also close to retail already, so personal only. Also on the 16th for $120, the Zoom Freak 4 All-Star will be dropping. While presale is high for these, they really don't seem to have much demand at all, so I'd have to say personal only for these as well. Then on the 17th for $140, we'll be seeing another Rick and Morty Puma MB02. While I don't expect these to perform as well as the prior Rick and Morty pair, it does appear that there is sufficient demand for large sizes to still be profitable, perhaps just lunch money with a subpar to decent margin on these. Also on the 17th for $180, the Jordan 1 Reverse Laney will be dropping. If you recall, these actually dropped via a sneaker stash a few days ago, that of which I tweeted out for. Again, make sure to follow my Twitter for urgent updates just like these. Anyway, like many recent Jordan 1s with non-classic colorways, demand on these is quite low, so I'd have to say mostly personals unless you have local buyers for large sizes. Also on the 17th, for $125, the Dunk High Cracked Leather Swoosh will be dropping. Like many recent Dunk Highs, based off the low demand, I'd say these are mostly just personals. And also on the 17th, for $85, the Dunk Low Kyrie All-Star in grade school sizes will be dropping. Unfortunately, presale is already close to retail on these, and demand isn't looking good. I'd have to say personal only for your kids as well. Also on the 17th, for $250, we'll be seeing the full drop for the JJJ New Balance 991 Gray Olive. If you recall, we already saw the JJJ website drop on these a few days ago, and despite the high retail, there still is room for profit with a decent to good margin, considering the very low stock and great demand JJJ collabs usually have, and even following their initial drop, it does appear that this is holding up. Moving on to the 18th for $210, the Jordan 13 Playoffs will be dropping. If you recall, these recently shock dropped, and in fact, Endurance actually posted the early information for this completely free on the Endurance TikTok. For more sneaker info and updates on Restocks, feel free to follow the Endurance TikTok. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. Anyway, when it comes to these 13s, I'd have to say personal only, like most 13s. Jumping to the 21st for $110, the Dunk Low Iron Ore will be dropping at some retailers in Europe, such as Foot District. There does actually appear to be some decent demand on these, potentially sufficient for lunch money with the poor margin in large sizes. We'll see if that holds up though. Also on the 21st for $220, the Jordan 6 Low Golf Infrared will be dropping. Like most Golf 6s, I'd have to say personal only for these. Then on the 22nd for $130, the SB Dunk Low Adobe will be dropping. Unfortunately, pre-sale is already close to retail for these, which is surprising for an SB Dunk Low. So I'd still have to say personal only for these. Then on the 23rd for $120, the Dunk Low Just Do It Team Red in women's sizes will be dropping at some Europe retailers. Like the other pair we discussed, demand doesn't seem very impressive on these, but I do still see potential for lunch money with a poor margin on sizes 11 and above. Then on the 24th for $110, the SB Dunk Low Orange Label Gray Gum will be dropping. Now, on the other hand, for these SBs, demand is really high. These should be profitable with a very good margin. Also on the 24th for $225, we'll be seeing both the black and white Jordan 12 A Ma Maniere release. While this isn't the most hyped Maniere collab, I would say it has more demand than the recent Jordan 2 collab. I do expect both colorways to be profitable, especially in large sizes, but with retail being $225 plus tax and shipping on the Maniere drop, I would only expect a subpar margin, and also I would expect the white pair to slightly outperform the black pair. Nonetheless, still a good drop overall to look forward to. Moving on to the 25th for $200, the Jordan 6 Cool Gray will be dropping. Like most 6s, I'd have to say personal only for these, and since some sizes are already under retail, I'd say you could probably grab them for below retail if you are patient. Also on the 25th for $180, potentially for the US, but so far some Europe retailers have them loaded, the Jordan 1 White Cement will be dropping. This is certainly a more unique, non-classic Jordan 1 colorway, and it does appear that they have some decent demand at the moment. Hence, I would expect these to be profitable with a subpar to decent margin, primarily on the large sizes, so nothing crazy, but pretty solid for a Jordan 1 drop. And finally, for the 28th, for $190 each, the Ambush Air Force 1s will be dropping in two new colorways, this time in black and white. While the last green and blue pairs both bricked, these new colorways are much more universal, of course. Consequently, it does appear that there is some decent demand for them at the moment, but not sure it'll hold up for them to be profitable. I'd expect them to still mostly be personals, at best maybe brick profit with a very poor margin if you have no tax, but we'll see, and I'll try to keep you guys updated. Anyway, that'll conclude it for today. You can feel free to leave a like if you enjoyed, or perhaps if you learned a thing or two. Remember to follow the Endurance TikTok if you haven't already. I'll leave a link for that in the description below. Subscribe and enable post notifications, this way you stay 100% updated on all hyped releases. Also, be sure to check out the links in the description below for kit proxies, for reliable, fast residential proxies, and last but not least, make sure to follow Keep Adam 10 and Personals for You. This way you guys stay updated on all urgent info like I was going over today. With that though, I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and of course, good luck on all these upcoming releases.